We were interested in studying a question raised by Condorcet, French revolutionary, about whether groups can make better decisions than individuals through voting, sort of a wisdom of the crowds question. And we wanted to find out if this was true. Imagine a situation where you have a lot of people have little pieces of information, but nobody knows the truth. But everybody would like to make the right decision. So you might imagine a situation where there's somebody on trial and is a defendant, and you would like to convict the guilty and let the innocent go free. Well, we can't really study it in the naturally occurring world because of the difficulty of being able to measure what the truth is and how much information everybody has. But in the laboratory, we could control that, and we could vary the difficulty of the questions that people had to answer. So we chose a set of questions that had a true answer, and we had some that were very easy and some that were difficult or misleading. An example of a tricky or misleading question is, where did Sigmund Freud die? And most people would say Vienna because that's where he lived most of his life, but he actually died in London. Another thing we looked at was social information. So some of the groups got information of voting of previous groups on the questions before they voted. And we found that when questions were easy and simple, that there's a bright side of voting, and that voting led to better decisions, but when questions were misleading or difficult, there's a dark side, and we had worse decisions. And we found that social information could make the bright side brighter, but the dark side darker. The implications of the research is that we have to be very careful in how we design institutions for groups making decisions. Sometimes voting can be very useful for a group to make decisions when questions are easy or simple, but when questions are difficult or misleading, it's better perhaps not to use voting as the way to make those decisions. So it's really great to do this research at NYUAD, where we have fantastic lab and colleagues and staff, but we also have this fantastically diverse subject pool that comes from all over the world, students on campus, non-students, and students at other universities, and it allows us to answer really interesting questions. My name is Rebecca Morton. I'm professor of politics and director of the Social Science Experimental Laboratory at NYU Abu Dhabi.